Creating video games is a journey full of challenges, creativity, and of course, costs. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how much it took to bring my games to life, from my first big project to my current indie endeavor. Hey everyone, I'm Nick Latray, and today I want to talk about something that every game developer needs to consider: the cost of making a video game. Whether you're just starting out or you're deep into development, knowing where your money goes is crucial. I've made 3 games so far, each with its own budget and timeline, and I've learned a lot along the way. Let's dive into how much these games cost me and why. My first game, SiideQuest, was really a passion project. It took me 5 years to develop, mainly because it was my learning project. I was figuring out everything: how to use Unreal Engine, how to design levels, how to code, how to make a user interface, you name it, I had to learn it. Because of that, the costs were higher than I initially expected. I probably spent about $5,000 to $10,000 on SideQuest. Most of that was probably from plugins and assets that I purchased from the Unreal Engine marketplace, paying 3D artists for custom models, and subscriptions to Patreons to help me learn faster. I found that working one-on-one with professionals was a better way for me to really grow as a developer. I had done some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript before, but I found that watching YouTube videos just wasn't enough when I got to a certain point in my game dev career. It was an investment in both the game and my skills as a developer. And yes, while it was a ton of money for a game that kind of stalled, to me it was worth every penny, because it laid the foundation for everything that came afterwards. For me, it was something that I could afford, and I know it's a lot of money for a lot of people, but I really wanted, this was my dream, and I really wanted to make it happen. After my 5-year journey that was SideQuest, I knew I had to streamline my process for the next game. That's when I started working on Pali. This game took me just 3 months to develop, and the total cost was only $280. The secret? I used pre-made assets. I got 2 free Cinti packs from the free Epic monthly assets, and I bought 3 more Cinti asset packs from the Unreal Marketplace, which gave me everything I needed to create the game's environments and characters. If you're using Unreal Engine like me, it's important, I think, to check Epic's free monthly assets every month. After a while, you've amassed so much quality stuff, and even though you might not need it right now, eventually you might need it for a future project. These packs were a lifesaver. They saved me countless hours of modeling and texturing, allowing me to focus on gameplay and mechanics. It was a great lesson in working smarter, not harder. The low cost also showed me that you don't need a huge budget to make a simple game. Now, I know that these packs have a certain reputation in the game dev community as being low effort or for prototyping only, but this was such a personal game that it didn't matter to me. When I asked my wife and friends if they even knew what a 3D game asset was, they said, what now? While pre-made assets can save a lot of time and money, they're not without their drawbacks. One of the main challenges is that these assets are designed to be generic, which means they might not perfectly fit the unique style or vision you have for your game. This can lead to inconsistencies in art style or design. Another issue is that pre-made assets can sometimes be overused by other developers, making your game feel less original. Additionally, integrating those assets into your project can sometimes cause technical problems like mismatched animations or difficulty in customizing them to work with your specific game mechanics. Finally, I think relying too heavily around pre-made assets can limit your creativity because you might find that you're designing around the assets instead of designing what truly fits your game. Now I'm working on my third game, Runes of the Abyss, and this one is different. So far, it's only cost me $70. How? I'm making everything myself. Almost everything. This time around, I wanted to push myself creatively and see what I could achieve on my own. I'm handling everything from the environment to the UI and blueprints coding. It's been a huge challenge, but it's also been incredibly rewarding. The $70 I've spent so far mostly went towards some essentials to speed up the process. Keeping costs low has been a priority, especially since I've already invested a lot into learning these skills. Looking back, each game taught me something valuable about managing costs. With SiideQuest, I learned the importance of investing in my education and proper tools. With Pali, I discovered how much time and money pre-made assets can save. And with Runes of the Abyss, I'm learning the value of doing things yourself and how that can keep your budget incredibly low. If you're an indie developer like me, my advice is to be mindful of where you're spending your money. Don't be afraid to invest in learning, but also know when to take advantage of free tools and assets that can save you time and money. And remember, the most important resource you have is your creativity. Whether you have a big budget or a small one, it's your vision that will make your game stand out. This is just my personal experience. Most developers will tell you that asking how much it costs to make an indie game is like asking how long it takes to make one. Some take a weekend or a week or a month or 6 months or 2 years or 10 years. There's no real answer. Making your own game could cost you $10, $100, $1,000 or more. It's entirely dependent on what kind of game you're making, your skill set, how efficient you are, etc. Then there's hardware and localization and other hidden costs. Gaming platforms charge anywhere from 10% to 30% of the total profit made. For example, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam platforms take a 30% cut from the game's sales on their platform, but these costs vary between platforms. And on top of that, some game distribution platforms charge registration fees. Platforms like Steam, Google Play, or Apple Store have a set registration fee that you need to pay before using their services. And here's another tip to save money: prototype first. As a small developer, you are likely to have limited resources. Starting with a smaller, more manageable game allows you to gain experience and build a portfolio. Once you've established yourself, you can leverage that success to tackle more ambitious projects. Take it from me, the guy who tried to make the next Elden Ring by himself. I hope this breakdown gives you some insight into the costs of indie game development. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. I'd love to hear about your experiences with game development costs as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.